What is going on, Misfit Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Matt the Misfit, for your Monday Night Raw of July the 31st, 2023. This is one half of your go-home show for Summerslam, which is this Saturday night from Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. Of course, Friday Night SmackDown is going to be the other go-home show for SmackDown. Or not for SmackDown, for SummerSlam. We'll talk about SummerSlam and SmackDown. Well, we'll talk about SmackDown on Friday. SummerSlam predictions are going to be on the show here because they are probably not announcing any more matches, so I guess we can do predictions. We'll say predictions for the end of the review here. Raw tonight was something. It was a show. The key points of the show was just the drive home for SummerSlam. I'm still excited for SummerSlam, even though the show was not very good. But I'm still more excited than I am for All In, and even though there's like really the show's nearly sold out, but they still haven't really announced any matches for the show. They haven't really built to anything for that show. So and the matches are all on SummerSlam actually have build, and I'll explain why some of the matches are being taken off of the show, or are not even on the show, rather. Whatnot, but we'll talk about that and much more here. But first, I need you to do me a favor and hit that subscribe button on the youtube.com/Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Hit that like button as well. You can also follow the social medias, Misfit Podcast TV on Twitter, Misfit Wrestling Pod on Instagram, and on Threads. The audio outlets, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Audible, and Pandora. Of course, yesterday we uploaded what episode are we on? Episode 105 of the podcast, Pile Driver Pulse, episode 4 or 5 of that show, particularly, where we talked about the G1 climaxes, day 7 through 9 results, the night 2 results of the 5-star Grand Prix. We had the update on Sai Kamatani and her being pulled from the 5-star Grand Prix due to her dislocated elbow, and she tore something and some other ligaments in there. We went over SmackDown, Vince McMahon's surgery, Dynamite as well. This weekend, we got some news to talk about on on Sunday for sure. About the upcoming Joshi promotion. There was some news that came out of that. We're going to talk about that and probably some other things here. I'm going to go over a little bit of the Cody Rhodes documentary that I watched earlier today. We are going to talk about Dark Side of the Ring's Bash at the Beach episode, but all that's going to be for Sunday's episode, which is why I'm not going to be able to do the predictions on Sunday, because the day before is SummerSlam. So this is why we're going to do the predictions for that show here tonight on this episode of SmackDown, of Monday Night Raw. Speaking of Raw, we do have some news. I'm going to go into Fightful Select so I can have that news about one of the matches that was scheduled for SummerSlam that was pulled from the show, and we'll talk about that when we get to that particular match. But the show opened with Logan Paul, because of course it does. He says he welcomes people to Raw. Says that he thinks about not talking in front of brain-dead people for too long. Says that he's in Houston for Ricochet after attempting to introduce him to his own audience last week. Says all he was trying to do is showcase Ricochet's athleticism and build hype for their match this Saturday night, which to be fair, even though the build to the match has not been all that great, the match is going to slap. And I'll talk about that once I get done with this promo here. He says that instead he was blindsided, and because of that, because of what Ricochet did, he will beat him at SummerSlam and it'll be the most in the most viral match in WWE history. Ricochet comes out and says that Eddie asked Logan Paul what's going on, and says he's gotten into Logan Paul's head. He says that Logan Paul is trying to pretend that he's to be the good guy while he can fool his audience. He isn't fooling any of the WWE fans, which is true. Says their SummerSlam match will be box office and tells them that he has something to say to him. He says that while he doesn't like Logan Paul on a personal level, he respects what an athlete, a type of athlete and showman he is. Logan Paul says he appreciates it. Ricochet he appreciates Ricochet saying that. Says that it returns the kind gesture that Ricochet showed him. Says that Ricochet was one of the greatest to do it until he showed up in WWE. He being Logan Paul. Says that he made them go viral during the Men's Royal Rumble match, which again, as great as that clip was, it really shouldn't be the caveat of of this feud. Apparently, it is. When they both leveled one another, jumping off the top rope in that springboard thing that we were just talking about. Says that they're going to have one hell of a match this Saturday, which is true. Offers to shake Ricochet's hand. Ricochet fist bumps it and looks to leave, but Logan Paul stops him and tells Ricochet that his fiancée, Samantha Irving, who is the ring announcer for Monday Night Raw, will have to announce Logan Paul as the winner of the match. Ricochet, who's had enough, starts beating that ass, but Logan was reverses things, and sends Ricochet crashing into the mat. Ricochet levels him with an enziguri, looks for a right hand off the top rope, but Logan Paul catches him with a right hand midair, showing off the damage he just did to his audience on the phone, or on his phone rather, and that's how that segment ended. The match is going to be great. I just don't care about the feud, but the match is going to be great. I'm very looking forward to see what type of match they have here. And then we go to Jackie Raymond, who's backstage with Imperium. She asks Gunther about his upcoming Intercontinental Championship banger with Drew McIntyre on Saturday, which that match is going to hump all types of humps, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. Gunther says he doesn't live in the past. He's only concerned about... Gunther doesn't live into the past. He says his only concern is disappointment, and expressed the disappointment he feels in Ludwig Kaiser after losing to Drew McIntyre last week. Says that Kaiser has a chance to redeem himself when he faces Matt Riddle next in a match, and adds that he will end Drew McIntyre on Saturday night. Next up, we had an excellent opening match here between Matt Riddle and Ludwig Kaiser. At one point, Riddle fires off some forearms and chops the Kaiser, delivers a suplex and a Broton, then follows that up with a German suplex, a bridge for a pinfall. Kaiser was able to kick out of it. Riddle lands in a second Broton, looks for a third, but Kaiser gets his knees up, delivers a clothesline. Then Riddle delivers a kick to Kaiser's head, but Kaiser lands a kick of his own onto Riddle's face. Riddle hits a ripcord knee and a suplex. Vinci hops on the apron, allowing Kaiser to roll up a Riddle. Riddle transitions into a beautiful power bomb, follows that up by a ripcord knee, and then goes for the pin. Kaiser kicks out. He slaps Riddle, then delivers a beautiful European uppercut. Riddle catches Kaiser with a knee, then ascends the top rope, looks to do the flying. I guess it's a Broton maybe. Kaiser rolls out of the way, delivers a running enziguri, then a modified DDT to hit the win here. Excellent match between the two. Matt Riddle's great. Ludwig Kaiser is very fucking underrated as a singles wrestler. And I just love seeing Kaiser be able to showcase what he can do in the ring when he's not teaming with Vinci. It is great to see. After the match, Gunther shakes Kaiser's hand because after that great performance, he redeemed himself. He is now the Redeemer. But yeah. Then we've seen the video package with Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar leading up to their match on Saturday. Then we got Maxxine Dupri defeating Valhalla in a quick match, but this is a great showcase here for Maxxine Dupri. So Maxxine was able to deliver some arm drags and kicks to Valhalla's head, follows that up with a suplex, and then a splash in the corner. Otis and Gable hop on the apron to support Maxxine, and Maxxine delivers a caterpillar in honor of Otis. Then she ascends to the top rope, delivers a beautiful crossbody, believe it or not. Then goes for the pin. Eric hops on the ring to distract the referee. Otis begins brawling with Ivar. Not brawling with Ivar, but brawling with Eric. Then Ivar gets involved. Gable then levels everyone outside with a moonsault, allowing Valhalla to sit Dupri up on the top turnbuckle to look for a superplex. But Maxxine escapes Valhalla, getting ready to put her in a electric chair position. And this motherfucker, this woman hits an Ocean Cyclone suplex, which I have not seen in many, many years. I mean, they've probably seen it on Dynamite, but when I seen Maxxine Dupri pull out a Miami Toyota fucking Cyclone suplex, I popped massively for that. That was amazing. And she won the match with that, and I thought that was great. Great showing for Maxxine Dupri. She's getting over with the crowd, and I love that. Her getting out of that damn Maximum Male Models gimmick. Same with LA Knight. And, say what you will about the booking of LA Knight right now, but him getting out of the Maximum Male Models and the Maxxine Dupri getting out of the Maximum Male Models was the best thing that happened to both of these two, because now they're getting over the crowd, and it's just great to see. Then we had a segment backstage with Shinsuke Nakamura and Tommaso Ciampa and Nakamura went back and forth about the SummerSlam Battle Royal, and they will want to get some, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Not advantage, momentum going into that meaningless Battle Royal on Saturday, because both Nakamura and Ciampa are somehow not featured on a big match, but it's whatever. Then we got Judgment Day, who didn't open the show for once. Judgment Day, come out here. The Women's World Champion, the Rhea Ripley, the NXT, what the fuck is that champion? The North American Champion, Dominic, Mr. Money in the Bank, Damian Priest, and just Finn Balor. Priest calls for a rise to Judgment Day before Rhea. Says Raw doesn't start until all four of them say it does, even though Raw started an hour early before this entire segment took place. She says it's Judgment Day's world, and they have no problem putting everyone in who doesn't fall in line on the shelf. Priest lists off everyone who has crossed the Judgment, including Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, and Liv Morgan. Priest puts Rollins and Zayn on notice ahead of his match. Head of his match with Dominic. When he teams with Dominic, I was reading that wrong. So Priest puts Rollins and Zayn on notice ahead of his and Dominic's tag team match against the pair a little bit later on in the night. Finn Balor says Rollins acts insane, but real insanity is seeing the scars he inflicted on him. He says that Rollins ruined his career 7 years ago. No, Vince ruined your career 7 years ago, Balor. Just to throw it out there. Says he can't escape the scars he has, and he will inflict them scars onto Seth Rollins and feel better about himself. Dominic says he'll bring back pride to the Mysterio name. Ripley says anyone who tries to get in Judgment Day's way should take a page out of Raquel Rodriguez's book and tell them to run and hide. Raquel Rodriguez comes out, who no-sells her injury because she's fucking terrible. Marches down to the ring with vengeance in her eyes, not the pay-per-view. She wastes no time and raises down right hand on Rhea Ripley, then whips her into the corner before she delivers a snapmare and a clothesline to her the outside. Raquel then sends Rhea crashing into the barricade and the post, then warns Dominic not to get involved. Rhea is like, bitch, if you're not going to sell the attack I gave you a few weeks ago, I'm going to make you sell it. Because she then takes advantage and does a chop block to Raquel's quote-unquote injured knee. Officials run down to check on Raquel after she is clutching her knee, and Rhea stomps on her knee again. Decides to stare her down afterwards. And that's how that segment ended. And then we come to find out, she ain't on SummerSlam. Rhea Ripley's not defending her championship at SummerSlam. Oh boy, that's got a lot of people up in arms. You know, I'm not even that mad about it because it saves me from watching Raquel Rodriguez in a women's championship match on pay-per-view that I know is going to be shit. So then we head over to, and I'm actually going to put these two together here. This next segment was what I would call cinema. Jokingly, you would call cinema, but this was excellent stuff. We had a video package. It's a 2-part video package showcasing how the match between Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler came about. We did find out that Saturday's match between these two are going to be an MMA mixed martial arts rules match, and I'll explain what that is in just a little bit. If I can pull up the SummerSlam card here, so I can get to that rules of that match here. Here we go, mixed martial arts. Okay, so I got that up here. And first part is about their friendship over the past several years. Shayna's basically saying, I'm tired of living in the shadow. I'm tired of being her best friend. I'm tired of being, basically a stepping stool for you to get to where you're at. And that's all you were to me for this whole time. You weren't my sparring buddy. I was just your tool, is basically what Shayna was saying here. And then one of my favorite lines of this thing, if I can find it here. Let me see if I can find it here, because, oh my God, it was so good. The lines that said, Shayna says she apologizes to her goddaughter, which is Ronda's child, says that she apologizes that her goddaughter is going to hate her for what she's going to do to her mother at SummerSlam. Oh man, this was great shit, man. If this didn't sell you on Ronda and Shayna, I don't know what it is. I don't know what to tell you, because this was excellent stuff. This was some of the best. This was probably my favorite thing Ronda Rousey had done, mic work wise, verbal wise. Like I don't know her promo skills for MMA. I don't know much about that, but I do know as being a wrestling fan, this is the best thing she's ever done, because she even showed emotion. A lot of people, I've seen people saying, you got me teary-eyed through this whole thing. Like, that's how you get people talking. Like, this is one of my favorite things about Triple H's version of how he tells stories, because, like, the video package, he knows how to tell. He could tell you, like, he'll put something together, and he'll do this, like, these video packages. Because he did it with Ciampa and Gargano, and that's what helped with Ciampa and Gargano stuff, is he knows how to get the audience hooked on something, whether if they aren't into it at first. not a lot of people were like hooked on the idea of this match happening. But then these 2-part segments, I think, helped the whole thing with this, and I thought it was excellent stuff being told there. I am super excited to see what they're going to do with Shayna and Ronda at SummerSlam. And I said to one of my friends, I don't give a fuck if this is a PG show. I don't care if woke people are going to get offended by this. I don't give a shit. If you're going to advertise a MMA rule style match, I need you to deliver on the said MMA rules style match, which means I need closed fists. I need submission moves. I need things being broken. I need blood. I need all of that. Do not advertise a MMA mixed martial arts match and then not deliver on the MMA prospect of that match. I don't need to see a WWE PG watered down fucking fight pit shit. Even with the fight pit, they don't even go as further with that stuff. This is the exception where I think WWE should be allowed to get away with blood on the show, especially for the women. I don't give a fuck if this is a PG show. I don't give a fuck if they have I don't give a fuck if Slim Kim is their sponsors for the show. MMA rules. You deliver on the MMA aspect of this match. Now, you may be wondering, what is in the MMA rules match? Well, at first I thought it was a UWFI. So the rules of a UWF, I guess, match, which I know Stardom likes to do these with Shiri. So basically, in this instance, you have many fights. This is like a pro wrestling thing here. And many fights end via knockout, which is their 10 count here. Referee stoppage with TKO, submission, or by points. There's no pinfalls, disqualifications, countouts, or time limits. Every fight must have a winner. Now, here is what mixed martial arts rules have to say here. Professional. I'm reading this one off of Wikipedia, so excuse me if it's wrong here. Mixed martial arts match. The professional wrestling version of a mixed martial arts match under standard MMA rules, as in, MMA. Pinfalls are not valid in valid method of victory. Matches can only be won by knockout, submission, disqualification, forfeit, or by a referee's decision to, I guess, stop the match or something like that. And I'm very curious to see how they're going to do this. And I'm still hoping they go all the way with this and do not half-ass it. And if this is going to be Ronda Rousey's last match in WWE, and knowing it's with her best friend, I need her to actually go all the way with it. I need her to convince Triple H, Vince, Bruce, the people at B, even the sponsors. I need her to convince, and Shayna, both of them need to convince the powers that be. Let's actually have a real MMA fight, where we beat the fuck out of each other. I need it. I need this to happen. Okay, I may sound like a sadistic fuck right now, but again, you're not going to advertise a MMA rules match and then not deliver on the MMA aspect of the match. That's just how it is. But I'll talk more about that match when we get into the predictions for SummerSlam. So, Tommaso Ciampa, Shinsuke Nakamura. This didn't last very long here. Bell rings, the two lock up here. It was decent for what it was. They could do more with this here. Nakamura delivers a shoulder tackle, as we see Bronson Reed, who's watching on a monitor backstage somewhere. Ciampa delivers a chop and a backbreaker, then follows that up with a drop kick to Nakamura's head, fires off some stomps, delivers a right hand and a chop, but Nakamura responds with a knee and a kick to the spine. Action spills outside the ring. Nakamura and Ciampa Ciampa rather sits Nakamura up on the apron. He delivers a knee that sends him crashing onto the timekeeper's area. They go to commercial break. Once they come back, Nakamura delivers an enziguri on Ciampa. Ciampa fires back with the DDT off the ropes. Then lands a chop and looks to go flying off the middle rope. Ciampa moves out of the way and delivers a knee onto Nakamura. That follows up with a forearm. Nakamura responds with a kick to the midsection of Ciampa, rolls him up, and grabs the tights for the win. Seems like they're going with a heel Nakamura, but what I like about this is it's not the same. It doesn't feel like the same heel Nakamura that Vince McMahon gave us in 2020 or 2018, where Nakamura was just dick kicking people. I want an edge Nakamura. I would love if like I said, was it 3-4 weeks ago, something like that? I said this a couple weeks ago. If we're gonna get like a New Japan Chaos version of Nakamura, but with a WWE spin on it, I am all for it. Hopefully this means something else, because these two would be great in the. You could have them in the Intercontinental Championship scene with Gunther, and because I know Gunther can have great matches with Nakamura and Tommaso Ciampa. We've seen it. We saw Nakamura when Triple H took over WWE. He and Nakamura and Gunther rather had this incredible fucking main event match on SmackDown. I believe it was the SmackDown after SummerSlam. It was either the SmackDown before SummerSlam, the SmackDown after SummerSlam. Either way, those two had an excellent, incredible Intercontinental Championship match. And then you go back to a year later, 2021, NXT TakeOver. I almost said Toronto. NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Night one, it was the only night that he had the 2 nights for NXT. The first night was on free television. Tommaso Ciampa and Walter, Gunther, whatever you call him now, had this incredible NXT UK Championship match. And it was awesome. So I know those two can have great matches with Gunther, but also I know these two can have great matches with Seth Rollins. I've seen Nakamura have great matches with Seth Rollins. The Survivor Series, 2018. A lot of people don't talk about that match as much, but I thought that match was great. There was a match they had. What was it? They were part of that triple threat match with Damian Priest. Incredible stuff. I don't know what type of match him and Seth Rollins can have yet. I'm pretty sure it would be great because Nakamura, Ciampa was supposed to answer that challenge, but he didn't. So, but I'm pretty sure not Nakamura. I'm pretty sure Ciampa and Rollins can have an instant classic. So we'll see what is. But my point is, inject these two into any division, whether it's the IC title division, the if you put them over at SmackDown, the US title division, or either world title picture, they're gonna skyrocket. Tommaso Ciampa is a main eventer. I'm sorry, Nakamura is a main eventer, whether Vince McMahon sees it or not. I know Triple H sees Nakamura and Ciampa as main eventers because he put them as main eventers in NXT. So, but Nakamura gets the win here. I'm assuming he's a heel now. I don't know about that. Maybe it's just a cocky Nakamura now who's not a heel, but was Chaos Nakamura really a heel either? Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes have face to face here. Lesnar introduced himself as a Paul Heyman. He introduces himself as if he was Paul Heyman. Lists off all of his accomplishments. Says that he's in fight week and now because the wait is over. SummerSlam is on Saturday. Says that he will get paid to fight Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, and while Cody will get paid to take a beating. Then calls Cody out to the ring. Cody comes out. He circles the ring before getting inside. Offers to shake Lesnar's hand. And Lesnar shakes it. Then the two stare down. Rollins looks, I guess, hug Lesnar. I don't know about that, but Lesnar pushes him out of the way. Looks to leave. Cody mistakenly goes for a tope suicida, and Brock Lesnar just beats that ass. Beats him up with the steel steps and everything else. Delivers him out with an F5 in the ring in that segment. As of right now, it doesn't like they're getting a stipulation here. I would have thought and assumed that this match was going to have like a Texas bull rope match or no holds barred. Knowing Cody Rhodes, I would have assumed they would have had like a classic Dusty Rhodes type match, like a Texas bull rope match or something. But no, it's going to be another straight up match. Now, does that change from now till Saturday? Who knows? I mean, while I'm recording this, they're probably going to be announcing like a stipulation or some shit on Raw Talk or something. Who knows? Next up, we got Gunther and Chad Gable. We find out that earlier on, it's a 5-minute challenge here. Bell rings. This was actually really, really good here. Basically, Chad Gable actually beats the clock here. Chad Gable basically wins with a count out, sort of. 10 seconds on the clock. Gunther looks for the last symphony, but Chad Gable escapes, sends Gunther crashing to the outside. The clock runs out. Gunther, who now runs the show, said time is going to be added to the clock. We found out time will be added to the clock, and then the match restarts, and Gunther just beats that ass. Gunther escapes a shoulder submission, arm and shoulder submission. Delivers a high German suplex. Gable delivers a series of forearms and a German suplex of his own. Goes for the pin. Gunther kicks out, lands the big boot, does Gunther, then delivers a series of chops and the last symphony for the win. And Gunther then gets on the table and tells fans to get used to him picking up wins and celebrating his success. He puts McIntyre on notice, tells him to take a look at what he did to Chad Gable. He will do the same to McIntyre at SummerSlam and will end him once and for all. Then we had an odd segment here with Becky Lynch calling out Trish Stratus here. Becky says the man has come around to Houston. Says that she says that she's done everything to get her everything and anything to get her rematch with Trish Stratus. Now she has nothing left to do but do the match. It says there is no better time to square off than right now. Trish comes out alongside Zoe Stark. Trish says that she thought about facing Becky here tonight, but then realizes that she fights on her own time. Says that she will name the time and the place. She wants to fight Becky, and then assures her that she won't cheat Becky out of her match. Adam Pearce comes out and says, "Nah, get your ass to the ring. You're having a match here." Trish makes her way to the ring. The bell rings, and then the match is over because Zoe Starks gets involved, causing a disqualification. So Becky Lynch is now 1-1 in this match here. This program here that needs to end. Becky sends Trish's face into the announce table desk. Basically, Becky got the upper hand here. After that, we've seen Trish and Zoe Stark walking around backstage. Adam Pearce runs into them and says, "What happened out there was unacceptable." Trish says that was a rematch where she had no time to prepare. Adam Pearce says that Trish will face Becky in 2 weeks. Not at SummerSlam. No, in 2 weeks. And Zoe Stark will be barred from ringside. So let's go into Fightful Selects. Fightful actually had something here. It says, news behind Becky Lynch Trish Stratus change. Fightful said Raw had a big development for a match that was originally planned for SummerSlam. Fightful Selector learned Monday night that Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus match was originally scheduled and planned for SummerSlam was delayed. We were told things changed by this weekend regarding Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus, and that match was discussed to be moved back to Payback, which is the pay-per-view after SummerSlam, but was announced for the August 14th episode of Monday Night Raw, which is in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, the home of Chris Jericho. The promo and match in totality was scheduled for one segment on Raw. Becky Lynch, who wasn't originally to take time off around SummerSlam, despite being rumored online. So yeah, that's not a choice. Not having Becky Lynch on SummerSlam is very odd to me. I mean, like, it's very weird. Becky's healthy. She's not. Same thing with Rhea Ripley. Neither Rhea Ripley or Becky Lynch. This is exactly why I said this should have been the match at SummerSlam. I know they're waiting for WrestleMania, but like, come on now. Come on. It did not make a lot of sense to me at all. Anyway, we have Cody Rhodes saying. He had a segment backstage and saying, you know, I'm still going to kick his ass at SummerSlam, talking about Brock Lesnar. And that was basically the gist of his promo backstage. Main event time, Judgment Day versus Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins. This was actually really, really fun here. Rollins fires some chops into the corner, delivers a big boot to, not big boot, just a regular boot to Damian Priest's face, goes flying. Priest catches him with a right hand. Dominic tags in. Dominic fires back some right hands on Seth Rollins. Tags in Priest. Priest delivers a boot and tags Dominic back in. Feels like they just redid that whole thing here. Dominic delivers a pair of right hands to Rollins' head in midsection. Then tags in out to Priest. Rollins delivers a knee to Priest's face. Balor trips up Rollins after he lands on the apron, sending him crashing into the ring post face first. They go to commercial break. Rollins delivers a rolling elbow to Dominic Mysterio. Priest and Zayn both tag in. Zayn fires back with some right hands onto Priest's Priest's head. Follows that up with a clothesline, but Priest fires back with a big boot of his own. Zayn dumps him out of the ring, then goes flying over the top rope to level him. Tosses him back into the ring, delivers a tornado DDT, goes for the pin. Dominic breaks up the pinfall, dials up the 619, but Zayn takes him down with a clothesline before he can ever complete the 619. Rollins and Priest tag back in. Rollins hits a sling blade, delivers three tope suicidas to Priest on the outside. The last sends him tumbling over the announce desk. Then gets Priest back in the ring. Looks to go flying. Priest catches him. Looks for the South of Heaven, but Rollins escapes. Lands a few super kicks. Rhea hops on the ring apron to distract the referee, allowing Dominic to deliver a jawbreaker to Rollins off the top rope. Zayn levels Dominic, but Rhea gets in his face. Ballard blindsides Zayn with a dropkick while the referee is distracted. Priest takes advantage and hits the razor's edge, looks to pin Rollins, but he spots his Money in the Bank briefcase, calls for Ballard to pass it to him. Priest looks to cash in, but Rollins super kicks the briefcase back into Priest's face. Dominic tries to interfere, but Rollins hits him with the briefcase. Balor tries to attack Rollins, but Zayn levels him with a haluva kick. Rollins delivers a curb stomp to Priest, gets the win here, and Sami Zayn and I almost said Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins gets the win here. Obviously, Sami Zayn's not going to be on SummerSlam this Saturday because Kevin Owens is dealing with legit broken ribs, so he's not medically cared to. I feel like had Kevin Owens not been sidelined with an injury, I think it was probably going to be Priest and Dominic versus Owens and Zayn at SummerSlam, but that's no longer happening. So maybe Zayn helps out in the world title match on Saturday to even the odds a little bit with Dominic out there and Damian Priest and whatnot here. But yeah, that was Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw was all over the place. The best things on the show, I can tell you right now. I thought the Ciampa Nakamura match was fine. I thought Gable and Gunther was great. I thought Riddle and Kaiser was excellent. Maxxine Dupri is impressing me in the ring every week with her busting out new moves not new moves, but moves that I wouldn't expect her to come out, like that Cyclone suplex that she hit on Valhalla and stuff like that. And then the excellent segments with Ronda and Shayna, which I'm fucking excited for that match. Baffled by the decision that there's no Rhea Ripley match on the show. Baffled by the decision that Becky Lynch is not going to be on SummerSlam after last year's SummerSlam, where she had one of the best matches of the night, which involved the debut of the main roster debut. Well, sort of the return of Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and Bayley, which I'll talk about Io Sky in a little bit because I have an interesting prediction for the Women's Championship match on Saturday night. But yeah, that was Monday Night Raw. Let's go into SummerSlam here. We got 8 matches on the show. Let's go over this Battle Royal first because no one cares about it. As of right now, only participants confirmed for the Battle Royal are as followed: LA Knight, Sheamus, Tommaso Ciampa, Shinsuke Nakamura, Otis, and Chad Gable. A lot of people are going to pick LA Knight for this. I'm going to go with Sheamus on this just to piss people off because I just want to see how the crowd's going to react to LA Knight not winning another match at a pay-per-view, just to see what happens, just to see what the reaction here is. Ricochet versus Logan Paul. I'm going to go with Logan Paul on this one. I don't think Ricochet is here to make Logan Paul look good. Also, Logan Paul is coming off of 2 back-to-back losses here. Logan Paul lost to Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, and then lost the Money in the Bank ladder match at Money in the Bank last month. And I don't know, was he at the Crown Jewel show? Not Crown Jewel. What was the damn show that he just had? Night of Champions. I don't think he was at Night of Champions. Oh well. Anyways, I'm gonna go with Logan Paul here. There's Ricochet. Again, like I said, Ricochet's here in this match to make Logan Paul look good, and Ricochet can afford a loss. Logan Paul, not so much. So there's that. We have Gunther defending the Intercontinental Championship against Drew McIntyre. This match is going to hump all the humps. Gunther, though, is going to retain the Intercontinental Championship here. Gunther is going to pass the Honky Tonk Man's record, and then once that's done, because he lost on Sunday night, which, by the way, I did watch NXT Great American Bash. I outside of Blair Davenport versus Roxanne Perez in the main event, I did not give a single shit about the rest of the show. But that match between Carmella Hayes and Ilya Dragunov was, oh my fucking god, match of the year candidate. That will be going on to the match of the year options for the end of the year awards show that we're going to do. And I think after SummerSlam, I think once Gunther surpasses the Honky Tonk Man's record, that's when Ilya Dragunov is going to be the one to take the title off of Gunther, and then Gunther is going to lose and drop it to Ilya. Gunther is going to go on to hopefully win the Royal Rumble next year, and then go on to face Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. That's my goal path for Gunther following SummerSlam. That's what I think should happen. I hope that's what happened here. But this match is going to be excellent. Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, mixed martial arts rules match. This has got to go to Shayna Baszler. Like I said earlier on in the review, I need this to be violent. I need this to be like a MMA UFC style match. I need blood. I need bones broken. I don't give a, like I said, I don't care if this is a PG show or not. It needs to happen. You need to go all the way with it. You do not half advertise an MMA rules match and not deliver on the mixed martial arts aspect of that of this whole thing. So, but Shayna Baszler is going to go over here, and hopefully after SummerSlam, this means Shayna Baszler is going to be back to what she was in NXT, a badass who hopefully gets a shot at the women's championship. And I would not be at all mad if Rhea Ripley drops the championship to Shayna Baszler. Or hell, put Shayna Baszler over on SmackDown and give her a run with the championship or something. Who knows? But I'm hoping the best for Shayna Baszler after SummerSlam. And I hope this match is going to be great, because I'm worried that this match is going to be terrible. But I just don't want it to be. So there's that. Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar. This still has no rhyme or reason of why it's happening, why this feud is still continuing, why this feud even started in the first place. But I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes here, obviously. They're 1-1. Brock won at, or Cody won at Backlash. Brock won at Night of Champions. Cody's going to win here and then do something else. I hope the guy just not Bray Wyatt, because I'd probably, if it ends up being Bray Wyatt, I may smash my head into my table multiple times, just so I can have no memory of Bray Wyatt getting involved. I don't need Bray Wyatt on the show. I'm kind of over the whole Bray Wyatt thing at this point. I no longer care if he comes back. Sure, I hope he's okay and all that. But his current run, his return has been a fucking failure. I'm sorry. Outside of the build to him coming back and then the actual return, after that, it gave me an interesting thing that they were doing with the Uncle Howdy. Like, I don't like this dude. I want to beat this dude's ass. And then they dropped it, and then I no longer care. They were apparently gonna do something with Eric Young and the Wyatt family and stuff. Like, yeah, but what does that mean? What does that actually mean? Would I actually care? Probably not, because the fact that you were going to go back to that means this fails. And what I want him to do is just go back to being the creepy, backwards cult leader that he was in 2013, because that was more real than the fucking spooky shit that he was doing. But, that's just here or there. Cody Rhodes, who I watched the documentary this morning, again, through that documentary, said he wants the WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes, who I hope doesn't win the Royal Rumble next year, what I think should happen is Cody Rhodes should win the Elimination Chamber and then get a shot at Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania, and then that's where Cody wins the championship, WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. So that's what I think is going to happen here. Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, World Heavyweight Championship. I've already said this earlier. I can't give away my prediction here. Seth Rollins is going to win here. And I think it's what's going to happen here. Hopefully this is better than the match that they had at Money in the Bank, because the match they had at Money in the Bank was not very good. And I've seen these two have better matches. These two have had way better matches. They had the SummerSlam match at 2016 was very, very good, even though not Rollins, Balor had one fucking arm near the end of that match. And then the match they had a couple of weeks ago on Raw prior to Money in the Bank was excellent stuff. And then there was another match that they had. I think it was for the Intercontinental Championship when Rollins was the Intercontinental Champion. Or was it when Balor won the Intercontinental title? One of the two, when one of these two won the Intercontinental Championship, and they had a hell of a match on Raw for the title. It was great stuff. Hopefully, we get a better match than what we got at Money in the Bank here. But I'm going to go with Seth Rollins winning here. And then after the match, they're going to try to tease the cash in, and they're not going to do it. So there's that. Then let's see what it's here. All right. Asuka, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. Okay, so I have been going back and forth on who should win here. Originally, I was like Asuka should retain here, right? However, they keep going on about this undefeated streak that not Rhea Ripley that Charlotte has had. Charlotte is undefeated apparently at SummerSlam. I don't want Charlotte to win. Like me personally, I do not want Charlotte winning the match or the title, or Bianca winning the title for that matter. However, I know how WWE works here. I know how the brain works when it comes to Charlotte Flair and padding these records. They want her to quickly surpass her dad's kayfabe fake record of 16 title wins here. I think now, originally, like I said, I had Asuka winning here, but I'm changing it because I think Charlotte's gonna win the championship. Now you're probably typing in your comments here. I'm like, oh, but Misfit. Oh, but Matt, why do you want to do that? Well, hear me out. She's not gonna hold the championship for very long because immediately after the match, Bianca is going to beat the hell out of Charlotte, give her the KOD, and then Io Sky is going to come whilst running herself down here to a massive reaction because Io Sky is the best and people hate Charlotte Flair. She's going to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase on Charlotte, and she's going to win the championship from Charlotte Flair. Because of Bianca, which then has Charlotte going after Bianca in a non-title program because of Bianca, Charlotte's short-lived title run. Because, and I've noticed this too. I've noticed this quite a bit here. Anytime somebody has a briefcase and Charlotte has won the championship, it's the champion. Not even seconds later, Charlotte is no longer the champion. They did it. They did it with Bayley in 2019. They did it again in 2021. That was last year. The year before that with Nikki ASH. She's even said that Charlotte says she's the most cashed in woman, I believe. Let me see if I can go into the Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank. What's the word I'm looking for? Money in the Bank. Oh God, what is the damn word I'm looking for here? Charlotte is 3 times, like I said, and I mentioned the 3 times that it happened. So Charlotte cashed in. So the first time was Carmella. It was on SmackDown. Guess who was the champion? I don't know how long Charlotte had won. Charlotte had won the championship in 2018. So when did she win? When did the fuck did she win that title? Let me look here. Let me look here. I've been doing some live reactions here. Live stuff here. So Charlotte originally won the title. So Charlotte won the title that year in November of 2017, and then lost it via cash in from Carmella, right? Okay, and then in 2019, she had just beaten Bianca. She had just beaten Becky for the title due to Lacey Evans getting involved at Money in the Bank, and then immediately after that, Bayley cashed in her briefcase and became the champion. And then 2 years later, Nikki ASH cashed in her briefcase the very next night on Raw, right after Charlotte had won the Raw Women's Championship from Rhea Ripley the night before. Okay, you following me here? It's a pattern here that Charlotte Flair has always been cashed in on as the champion. So it just makes sense to continue that trend here with Io Sky. Now, Io Sky is going to get a massive reaction here. You can still do your feud with Io and Kairi, and Io and Kairi. I wish they would do the Io and Kairi thing, Io and Asuka, but I would still hold off on Io and Asuka for just a little bit here, because I pointed this out as well here. I personally, this is just me being fantasy booking here. I would love to see Bayley do a festival of friendship type of segment with Io, but also use it as a championship celebration. Why either you can do it on the very next SmackDown, where after following SummerSlam, or you can do it a couple weeks afterwards, or you want to wait until after this whole thing with Shotzi's over with, or whenever you want to try to do it, and then that's how you do the turn with Bayley on Io, and it gets Bayley over, gets Io over as a babyface. She's already getting over as a babyface, even though she's a heel. And you're probably asking yourself too. You're probably asking, well, why don't you want her cashing in? Because I know you said, because you're probably wondering, well, you said for weeks that it should be Io cashing on Asuka. Well, I know that, but I remembered Io and Asuka are technically still heel. Both are technically heels. Io is technically a heel. Asuka, even though she's a heel, is getting cheered. Charlotte is a babyface. Realistically, and if you look at the men's Money in the Bank winners here, historically, outside of RVD and CM Punk the first time, and maybe I'm trying to think of Daniel Bryan's an iffy there. Historically, right? I'm trying to look to see what else here. I'm trying to look at something here. I'm trying to see. Yeah, historically. Okay, so historically, a heel is cashing in on a baby face. Because you look at the men's side, you have Edge multiple times. You have CM Punk in 2009. You have Jack Swagger, Kane, The Miz twice in 2010 and 2021. Alberto Del Retard. Dolph Ziggler was a heel when he cashed in. Randy Orton was obviously a heel when he cashed in. Damien Sandow, even though he lost, was a cash in. Was a heel cash in. Seth Rollins, even though he got cheered like crazy when he cashed in on Reigns and Lesnar. Sheamus was a heel. Baron Corbin was a heel. Braun Strowman was a heel when he did it. Unfortunately, Brock Lesnar was a heel when he did it. Like I said, The Miz and Austin Theory last year was a heel when he did it, and they all cashed in on baby faces. Now, outside of Liv Morgan last year, everyone else has been a heel. Bayley was also a babyface too, but historically, it's a heel cashing in on a babyface. Now I know the reaction is going to be Io getting cheered, but this is how I would do it. So, outside of that weird explanation that I just went into here, I have Charlotte winning the championship in the advertised match, and then immediately losing it to Io Sky via cash-in. And Io Sky is going to leave Detroit, Michigan, and SummerSlam 1 year removed from her main roster debut as a babyface and as the champion. And I said to somebody, and I don't remember who it was. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find my tweet. But I said, here we go. Where is that? Oh, here's where I said. So I said, the moment this faction was introduced at SummerSlam last year, that Io Shirai, before I knew her name was Io Sky, that she would be the breakout star of the faction. And 1 year later, I'm very happy to be proven right. And then I said, I was told by multiple people, and this is true because it was told to me by multiple people that I was crazy for thinking Io was going to get the big push over Bayley. What happened? Look what's happening now. Who is getting the big push out of the three? Not Dakota Kai. Unfortunately, she's injured, but even if she wasn't, she still wouldn't have gotten the push. Bayley doesn't need the push. Io Sky is the one getting the push, and I'm very happy to see that. And again, Io's going to win. Io's going to leave SummerSlam as the women's champion. Main event: the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns defending his undisputed WWE Universal Championship in a tribal combat match, which is basically no holds barred, against Jey Uso. Now, Roman Reigns is absolutely retaining the championship here. For the reasons I mentioned earlier about Cody Rhodes, the collision course is still Cody Roman 2 for next year's WrestleMania. For weeks and for years, Jey Uso has said multiple times he doesn't want to be the tribal chief, and he doesn't want the Universal Championship. It's not about him becoming the Universal Champion. He just wants to beat the shit out of Roman Reigns. That's it. And he's going to... he may get that opportunity on Saturday, but I still think what I think he should do, and I'm standing by what I said for weeks now. I stand by this. Roman Reigns should 110% SummerSlam 2014 Brock Lesnar, Jey Uso. And what I mean by that is, on that show, Brock Lesnar destroyed John Cena in the most unbelievable squash match. It wasn't like John Cena may have had like maybe one or two offense maneuvers here, but the whole match was Brock Lesnar just beating the shit out of him, and that's what I think should happen here. Jey Uso should get some offense in here. We're probably going to be Tricks and Whistle here. You're probably going to have Jimmy probably coming in here too. They get it taken out here. But Roman Reigns should destroy Jey Uso here. And they should not do another match after that. End it there. And probably go for the Solo Sikoa match where, again, Roman Reigns is not going to lose the Solo Sikoa either. But I have Roman Reigns retaining in the main event of the show here. Tribal Combat Universal Championship. And after all this, Cody Rhodes is going to be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship and bring back, hopefully, the Winged Eagle WWE Championship. But yeah, that's my preview and predictions for for SummerSlam. That is my Monday Night Raw review. I will see you back here, hopefully, for the 200th episode of AEW Dynamite. That's not my 200th episode. That's what they are calling it. 200th episode of Dynamite is coming up. Let's go over that card that was announced here. We got here 200th episode of Dynamite. We have Anything Goes main event, probably. I don't think it's going to be the main event. I think the Women's Championship is going to be the main event here. But Jon Moxley, Trent Beretta, Pete El Zero Miedo, that will be happening. Chris Jericho and Konosuke Takeshita will take on Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia. Jungle Boy Jack Perry will come face to face with Jerry Lynn. And there's a good chance that Jungle Boy is going to be wrestling RVD. Just make a license. He's the only ECW legend I think is still actively wrestling right now. And it's the only one that makes sense because Jerry Lynn's one of Jerry Lynn's best opponents and one of Jerry Lynn's best rivals is RVD. It's the only one I can think of here. World Tag Team titles from Ring of Honor, which apparently, again, Ring of Honor is supposedly not supposed to be involved with AEW television. Aussie Open taking on El Hijo del Vikingo and Commander. And then the main event of the show, which I think is going to be the main event of the show, Toni Storm defending the AEW Women's Championship against Hikaru Shida. And I think Hikaru Shida, I keep saying this, should win the championship. SmackDown. Let's talk about SmackDown. SmackDown, we have LA Knight versus Sheamus, that's going to be happening on that show. I believe something else. I don't know what else is on that show here. I think we're supposed to have something with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. There might have been another match that was announced that I don't fucking know about. But I don't care. But yeah, that's SmackDown. I'll see you. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully I'll see you back here for Dynamite. If not, I will see you back here for SmackDown. We'll not be doing a Rampage review this week. That will go inside with the Pile Driver Pulse on Sunday. But I will be back here Saturday night for your SummerSlam review. And I'm crossing my fingers. I'm hoping, because I loved SummerSlam last year. I enjoyed the hell out of that show. It didn't enrage me like SummerSlam 2021 did, or SummerSlam 2020 did. Because I lost my shit during those two shows. I was not at all enraged by SummerSlam last year, and I hope I'm not going to be this year as well. But I've been Matt the Misfit. This has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I will see you guys back here, hopefully for Dynamite. And again, if not, for SmackDown. Until then, we're out.